Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Massive drama going down in the VCT yesterday. Again, big roster changes coming to some serious big name teams, as we'll dive into over the coming minutes, but also drama in the challenger side. What is this decision that the tournament organisers decided to make? Was it a fair decision? Was it not? Did one of these teams get screwed over badly? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd really appreciate it. First of all, a couple of things to get into. This is one here from Waylay. People are discovering new ways to use her movement. And this is certainly one of the ways to use her movement, right? So, you know, players like Zekken, among others, will be finding ways to effectively utilize this, you know, super glide, super dash. I mean, look, this is one of these things that Mr. TenZ will not be especially happy about, because what are you meant to do in this type of situation, right? You get slammed and then you just immediately dash back to where you were before. It's pretty outrageous, and I mean, like, from even this first one is pretty bad, as in from the other guy's perspective, right? And I know that, okay, they're playing on stretch, so maybe it looks like the player's moving quicker, but look at this one was maybe the worst. I mean, what are you meant to do? As the attacker in this situation, you've got the spike planted. Like, the guy even makes a nice little flick, but then by the time he makes the flick, the guy's back over here, and then you're like, what are you meant to do, right? That's pretty outrageous there if you are the Neon in that situation compared to the new agent coming through. And this is the type of thing that TenZ has been talking about to some degree, about the quality of the gameplay. He says, the amount of colours and effects I see on my screen during rounds, feel like my colour blindness is cured for a short duration. Safe was talking about this. Now, what was interesting about this is Alex here from Riot. This is how much power TenZ yields. If TenZ decides that he is going to complain about something, justifiably, arguably anyway, then he will get a response, typically, from Riot Games. So Alex here says, you know, for what it's worth, this and general clarity is something we are actively talking about all of the time. It's not an excuse. We're actively looking into this and trying to improve here. So pretty interesting, right? Because when Safe tweets it, you know, no one cares. Like, Safe's a great player and, you know, seemingly a great guy. He plays for a big organization like Vitality. But he tweets about it. No one's really replying. But TenZ tweets about it and says, look, there's an issue in VALORANT that I think I would like to get solved, and we could move in a certain direction, maybe as a game. Then Riot are in the reply saying, oh, you know, King TenZ, like, you know, we're going to try our best to accommodate. And we've seen that before, and maybe it's going to be it for the better of the game as well. Now, speaking of Vitality, they have Sayonara. You guys remember this guy because he played on Fnatic for a little while, he in the off-season and that, before they made the changes that they did, and he is now reportedly signing with Vitality, with the intention to be an official player for them when he turns 20 or when he turns 18 in 2020, or join the team in 2026 basically. So he's going to continue playing challenges for now, but yeah, potentially a big acquisition there. Of course, he had the time on Fnatic. Maybe Fnatic could have decided to lock him down in the same way that Vitality are seemingly doing for the slightly longer medium term. But no, Vitality, it seems, are going to be the team that's going to secure his services. Pretty interesting stuff there. This is Gen.G. No confirmation of this as of recording, but this is to do with their potential changes. So we know that they've been looking at a few opportunities. Yaman is gone, but reportedly they are bringing in 2 new players, and Foxy9 is going to be going to the bench. Now, you guys know that I've got a bit of a soft spot for Foxy9. I know that he's not the perfect player by any means, but, you know, I tend to think that he's pretty talented. But apparently he's going to be benched. So Yaman is gone, like dropped from the roster as we know, parted ways with him. Reportedly, Foxy9 is going to get benched. He's going to move to substitute, and then Ash and Suggest are coming in instead. So it's going to be apparently their roster: Munchkin, Texture, Caron, Ash and Suggest, with Foxy9 on the bench. Again, right, I mean, it's just a lot has changed in a relatively short period of time for Gen.G. And I get it though, right? Because they were very close to making it to Masters Bangkok. They were very close to defeating and reverse sweeping T1 to make it happen. They eventually came third. Understand, like, Gen.G could have said, you know what, we came third, we lost to DRX, we lost very close to T1, T1 went on to win the entire tournament, you know, it's okay, we're not looking too bad, we can stick out with the roster. But no, they've decided that they want to get even better, and this is seemingly their plan to do exactly that. Whether it's going to work, I think that is a bit of a question, because, you know, they've made a lot of changes recently to a roster which was still pretty competent, to say the very least. This is Liquid though. Kamek apparently is going to be gone. not confirmed as of recording yet, but you know, when Alejandro says it, and basically every indication inside and externally from the team implies that is exactly what is happening, the Liquid are going to be making a change. So they did pretty well. I mean, they made it to Bangkok. They were a surprise package in Bangkok there, but seemingly they've decided that enough is enough. I find it remarkable how many of these teams are making changes now, because you might think, especially for Gen.G, for example, they didn't make it to Bangkok. They could have made the change then. But I think what's maybe happened is that teams have even gone to Bangkok or not gone to Bangkok. They've played practice behind the scenes, maybe on the new meta as well. And now it's got to a point where it's like, oh, actually, no, we're not very happy with our team in practice. We want to make a change. But it does mean that there are a number of changes making teams different just before the regular season is about to begin, which is not something you would typically expect, especially because, arguably it could be wasted time considered that way by some of these teams who haven't made changes until now. But it's only a couple of days until everything gets underway in the other regions. China gets underway today, not giving these teams that much time, I guess you could argue, to actually prepare for everything. But intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, looks like Kamek is going to be benched from the VCT roster. Kamek actually tweeted about it, and at least there have been some tweets to this effect implying that it may well be true. Then Ninja dropped this one with the double eyes emoji because reportedly Ninja might be coming in. This actually, VCC Scrims tweeted this out because Ninja was spotted, and I think Scrims also said that effectively he'd seen Ninja and others trialing over the last few days, but he thought, maybe someone was unwell or whatever, maybe Kamek was unwell, but no, seems like he's gone and Ninja is going to be coming in. So yeah, intrigued to your thoughts on that in the comments below. Now, we've got some other drama to discuss as well. Zelsis got his account back, he says, and, got by gapping up to getting hacked, probably deserved. Of course, there was lots of drama over the last few days, but the big drama in North America, certainly in challenges yesterday, was involving a couple of notable teams. Starting here, so Rankers, Envy, they finally got the win again. I mean, not finally, they've been winning everything for months. They signed up to Envy and then lost their first series, but they were back to good form last night against Blue Otter. They won the first game 13-11. It was close, but they got the job done. And then on the Blue Otter map pick on the Lotus, it was an absolute demolition job. And it's tough, isn't it, right? Because you're starting on the Lotus, you're starting on defense, you're feeling pretty confident, and then, Rankers just come out and just start running circles around you. Even Poppin on the final map wasn't far off from dropping a 0-kill round or 0-kill game. On the attacking side, he had 1 kill. So, that would have been pretty impressive to win a series without getting a kill. And obviously on the attacking side for Blue Otter, it was only a couple of rounds. There weren't really that many kills to go around, but still the same thing applies, and it was a 13-1 demolition job map too. So Rankers move on, and as Inspire Baby J says, 2-0 Blue Otter, time to start another win streak. We'll see. But yeah, they looked like the Rankers of old. I mean, they're the same team. It's kind of funny how it works, right? That they join Envy and all of a sudden it's like, oh, maybe the team isn't as good as it was before. Maybe they're going to get exposed. Who knows? But yeah, they are continuing their run in the lower brackets. The other teams, though, that were looking to continue their run in the lower brackets were these two teams. And this was the series that was subject of much controversy. So TSM won 2-0. Congratulations. The bind on the map 2 was 13-10. TSM took the victory. Recoil was top frag. Actually, Sim was top fragging, but you know how VLR rating tends to work for the duelist, so he somehow becomes like the absolute worst player on the team that map. But anyway, map 1 though, Haven, 0-0. What's going on? Like, who won? It was QOR's pick. They might have won it, and it could have been a very interesting series. But no, because, as is described here, QOR forfeited map 1 due to technical difficulties. Now, this was causing a lot of controversy. Darkest was having problems with his PC, basically, right? And there was talk here from Lydia to say, look, he had loads of hours to fix it, to fix his TeamSpeak and fix the problems and all this, and still blame the TOs and TSM, what's going on. But I guess the problem can be, okay, if it's technical difficulties, if there's some sort of issue with his PC that is difficult to solve, because, this is a tweet from 17 hours ago when he was mentioning PC problems. Now, look, if it's a technical thing and there's some sort of part which is causing problems in the PC, is there really anything you can do in that kind of time frame? It's going to be difficult. But the issues were still there, clearly the next day, and sure, could the team take some blame for being in this situation? Maybe. But the drama really came about because okay, Darkest couldn't play, there were problems in the PC, they could have put a substitute in, right? Could have put their coach in. But instead, the tournament organizer simply decided that, sorry guys, you missed the start time, you forfeit the first map. And this is a big game, right? This is an elimination game from the playoffs. And not like it should really matter. Like, every game should be treated the same to some degree in terms of competitive integrity. But still, the fact that this was a very important losers bracket elimination game from the playoffs of challenges, and the tournament organisers were like, oh, guys, well, you missed your points to start the series, so looks like you're getting, forfeited the first map. Whereas, now, I'm not saying they would have won anyway, but they would have been able to say, okay, coach, sub in. Sixth man, sub in. Like, let's make this happen. But they weren't even given the time to do it because, I don't know, maybe they just decided that the rules are the rules, and if you miss the start time by a certain amount of minutes, there's no leeway and you get forfeited the first map. So, yeah, really unfortunate for QOR, and they've, of course, lost the map too as well. But as we can see here, right, like, they obviously, they've got Darkest, who maybe wasn't able to play, but they had Ocean, right? They have a couple of coaches that potentially could have subbed in if they had a few more minutes to make that happen, but that's not what they were allowed. So it's not like it's TSM's fault either. GMD actually mentions this. All drama aside, I feel bad for the QOR guys. I was just trying to defend the fact that we didn't force anything and saying that if it was TSM the other way, it wouldn't be the same as outrageous. We played last year with a sub when one of our players went to the ER. It does suck. I feel sorry for you losing your split like that. Love to the QOR guys, and as Darkest says, no problems with you guys. It was just a bad decision from the TO. It was actually in response a bit to this thread, right? So Darkest says, so happy they got to forfeit us and play on their server for second map as well. Congrats to them. Amazing TO work. Apologies for not predicting the future. So, Darkest kind of calling out TSM on some respects, and GMD refrains from talking, and he's like, they obviously care. They forfeited us. We played their server. If you care, little bro, you got to forfeit us. Whether you decided it or not, you forced your server because we already talked to them about it before the change. You preferred losing the map than playing with a coach or sub. We had someone on 80 ping Texas and packet loss. The ping difference was, 5 between Texas and Illinois, I'm guessing. Is that what that is? Surely the fair thing is to play on the other server. So, yeah, they had a bit of a back and forth about this, about, like, who actually decided to forfeit and the way that this works, because, at the end of the day, it's considered to be a bad TO decision, but maybe there's a little bit more to it than meets the eye. So, yeah, pretty dramatic stuff, as always, between the couple of different teams. Like, it's NA Valorant, especially on the challenger side. It is going to be what it is. And as GMD here says, you're acting like I was begging for them to forfeit QOR Gaming, right? So kind of roasting them as well. And it seems like that's just a decision that the TO decided to make in the circumstances. So yeah, that's that. They could have played with substitutes, but they weren't given the opportunity to do so. And as Dapper says, forfeiting a map in playoffs elimination game, no matter the circumstances, should be avoided at all costs. And it's a shame that it happens. So I think it goes both ways, really. Like, okay, could QR have prepared better to ensure that this wouldn't have happened going into the series? Probably there's some things they could have tried that would have been better. But equally, is Dapper wrong that maybe the tournament organizer should do everything in their power to not make this happen? I think that's an argument as well. But intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. This is the way the bracket now currently looks then, right? So QR are out, NV are through, Blue Otter are out, and, things continue as follows. Now, if M80 or Shopify Rebellion, whoever loses that one, they will likely swap the bracket. So NV, as in the Rankers team, they will likely play the loser of Winthrop and Cuba. That's how I'd imagine that this bracket will shape up. But those matches, of course, are coming up tonight. So very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.